Hello and welcome back to The Road to Net Zero, a podcast from the Advanced Propulsion Centre. My name is Clem Silverman, and to kick off 2023, I've sat down once again with CEO Ian Constance to get his views on the current state of the sector and what's positive to look forward to this year, including the APC's 10-year anniversary. But first, we started with a question about the latest news that's dominating the industry. Welcome, Ian. It's great to have you back on the podcast to talk through your thoughts on the automotive sector and the projects that the APC is supporting. So I just want to address the elephant in the room first. How do you see the automotive industry this year in the wake of the collapse of British Volt?
Thanks for starting with something light and airy, Clem. Look, it is the obvious question. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend that it's not a great disappointment for us that British Volt hasn't made it. I think the first thing to say is that British Volt is in administration, and I hope something good comes out of that, because fundamentally, I think there was a great amount of value in British Volt. Of course I did. We were strong supporters of that approach. The fact that they have developed UK technology in batteries to a point where we know that people were testing those batteries and saw a lot of value in those batteries. So that technology is great. The site in Blythe is still absolutely probably one of the most, if not the most, attractive site to build gigafactories in the UK. It's got abundant clean electricity supplies. It's got a good grid connection. It's got a deep water port to get things in and out. It's got a lot of people around who can come and work in that space. So it's got a lot going for it. And so whilst it is a blow, it's certainly not the end. And I think it's important to recognise as well that we do have a gigafactory being built in Sunderland, which is great, and there are other potential gigafactory investors looking to invest in the UK. We look forward to those coming forward. So we are down. This is not without its consequences, but we are most certainly not out at this point.
Okay, fantastic. So it sounds like there is a note of optimism in your voice there at the end. We're looking forward to this year. Are there any examples of how the automotive industry has a positive outlook, and what could we expect from 2023?
There is grounds for optimism this year. There's a lot of problems in the world. There's a lot of problems in the UK. Cost of living crisis, energy costs, inflation, all of this stuff. But I think to be positive, I start by looking at the numbers of battery electric vehicles in the UK market. 2021, the market share in the UK was, I think, about 11%. Last year, 22, full year, I think it was around 15-16%. So when you look at that, there's real significant year-on-year growth. And is 15%, if we carry on with that kind of growth, are we at that long-fabled inflection point, that point where we get enough traction in the market that people really see the battery electric vehicle as, the future and where we're going? That means that this year, in 2023, we really have to accelerate our efforts to build that supply chain, to get those assembly plants turned over, to do all of those things. And so, I think there's as always, there's a lot to do.
What role is the APC going to play in that now? So we've got next round of collaborative research and development funding just about to be announced. We have next cohort of our technology developer accelerator program, TDAP, coming through, and we just had a closeout showcase of that with some wonderful examples of all the innovation which we've backed from these startups and spin-outs, and of course, some of the feasibility studies that we're looking at for scaling up projects all across the UK. So there's a lot of activity that we're doing at the APC. Have you got any examples or anything that stands out for you?
Well, you've just said it all, really. This year, though, we've got a lot of plans to bring forward collaborative R&D competitions, as usual. As you say, more TDAP, more feasibility studies for ATF, the things that demonstrate the first step of that investment story for people and show that their concepts work to get to garner investment. We want to do more things like ARMD, the Advanced Route to Market Demonstrator, again, that demonstrates to either customers or shareholders or boards overseas or whatever that there's that capability here to push a product forward. TDAP, as you mentioned, last week we had our Wave 5 close out. We've got Wave 6 going on now. We've got Wave 7 coming in this year. And that is so exciting. It's always wonderful to see these entrepreneurs, these technical entrepreneurs bringing their technology forward and growing in their stature, their capability, their understanding, their ability to get their ideas and their concepts to market. Always really exciting. So we'll be doing more of that. The Automotive Transformation Fund remains a marquee bit of what we do in terms of developing that future supply chain and that investment in that future supply chain, and we'll look to continue that good work as well.
And it is a big year for the APC as well. We turned 10 years old. So just talk me through a little bit of background for APC, what it's achieved, and then what we can expect this year in terms of maybe throwing a knees up or a party or something like that.
Well, I think it's fabulous, and it is when you look back at the 10 years. APC started in 2013, and when you wind back the clock to 2013, 2010, 2013, there was still a lot of senior industry people were saying things like, "Oh, battery electric vehicles, that won't happen in my lifetime," and that kind of thing. When you look at it now, and I've just talked about that inflection point that we're at, and that sort of general view that battery electric vehicles for cars and vans in particular are the future, you look at how far we've come. But the UK is now absolutely recognised as one of the go-to places for developing low-carbon auto tech and zero-carbon auto tech. And that's something to be really proud of. Then you look at the numbers, the impacts, we're up to 50,000 jobs created or safeguarded through our various activities and our projects and so on and so forth. 436 organisations we've worked with closely in one way or another. And then the metric I really like is over 300 million tonnes of carbon dioxide that has been avoided by the products that have come out of the projects that we have supported and that our collaborators have worked on and delivered. Now that 300 million tonnes of carbon dioxide, that's like taking over 10 million average internal combustion engine cars lifetime off the roads in terms of their carbon dioxide output. Now that's really phenomenal, and it really shows that this isn't some academic exercise in a little bit of research and technology. This is really leading to important and significant outcomes in the marketplace, and I think that's something really that is worth celebrating. So yes, I'd like to think that we'll put together something and raise a glass with all our friends and collaborators at some point during the year.
So just coming back to the bigger picture, so we've APC industry has achieved a lot in the last 10 years, as you say, but can you say that it's truly been a success, all that government support, industry backing, if we fail to capitalise on this moment now and really scale our ambitions to take that inflection point forward and drive that net zero emission ambition to a point where we've decarbonised our transport system?
Well, I don't know how you expect me to answer that, Clem. I mean, come on. For sure, 2023 and beyond is pivotal for us. Like I said, over the past 10 years, the story has moved on in the UK. We have the capabilities, we have the engineering, we're starting to grow the supply chain. We've got tentacles beyond gigafactories. It's not just gigafactories we're looking at the whole supply chain. And we know that there's people who are interested in investing across that supply chain. Clearly, we've still got a lot of work to do to manage and deliver those investments. Going back to your first question about British Volt, it was never about one big investment. It's about lots of investors. And whilst we're really pleased with what's been achieved over the last 10 years, we've still got a lot of work to do, and working with the whole community to deliver those outcomes.
Nice positive note to end on there. I'm sure we'll hear from you later on in the year, but for now, thank you very much, Ian, and we'll look forward to raising that glass with you.
Thank you.